going on, guys? Greg here. I got another video for you today. This is a quick video of a Graflex that was sent in for repair, and it ended up having to be completely rewired. So Brian is a guy local that I had started talking to who had messaged me saying the switch holder that was in here, which was one of, let me just get this out of the drawer, which is one of these old ones, one of the original ones from back in the day when these were first getting installed, before the 3D printing really took off. So it's one of those switch holders that just didn't sit in really well. It just it was crap, to be honest. And so he was like, oh, can you swap that out? He was like, and while you're at it, can you change the speaker out? Because I don't know what's in there, but it's crappy. And for that TFA hum that Shamim did, or not the hum, the power on, he said that it was just it couldn't handle it, and it turned out being a 28mm premium speaker, which was just the flat speakers, and so it wasn't going to handle that hum. And he was like, while you're there, can you redo it? And as soon as I took the switch holder out, I knew that it was not going to work out well. The wires were falling apart, the leads were horrible. I mean, it was just, I don't want to say it's someone who's an Smith, but it was someone who, saw The Force Awakens, was like, oh shit, I can build a lightsaber, because that's when the Graflex 2.0 was popular. This was bought on eBay by the customer about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, so the time fits. And and someone was just like, oh, like, shit, I'm gonna put a lightsaber together, followed the videos on YouTube, didn't do a very good job. Like I said, everything was horrible, and then they sold on eBay hoping they were gonna make a few bucks. They probably did, and here it is. And so I talked to the customer, and I said, listen, like, we had discussed, price and stuff like that. And I said, listen, I'm going to fix this up regardless, because it's just not right. And I've always tried to do the right thing by customers. So I said, let me take care of it. I'll take care of you. And so I did a full rewire from top to bottom. I used all the same parts. Surprisingly, the board was kind of burnt up pretty good. But I checked all the pads, leads, etc., and everything was working. And so we kept it. The LED was, again, okay. It was, someone just scorched everything with the soldering iron they were using. Probably like not temperature controlled or anything like that. But yeah, so anyways, me enough talking. Let's get into this. So like I said, you have a blue, green, white tri-crate LED. You have a Prizm V4, a Goth master chassis with the crystal reveal, an 18650 lithium-ion battery, a blade plug here, and a 28mm Adrian Tan bass speaker, the Saber Essentials. Yeah, Adrian Tan. I always get him and Aaron. I always say the wrong name. Real quartz crystal. And then Brian, who's the guy I'm doing this for, I wanted you to know that, so I added an accent LED in here for you just because I was kind of in here. I had one laying around and I was like, screw it. So you have a white accent LED that flashes. That can be programmed in the files. You can always ask me about it, and I'll show you when we fire it up. I did forget that in the newer boards, there's a mode where the LEDs, you can control them while the Saber isn't turned on, like this. But the older board does not have that. And then obviously the main thing that you wanted was, oops, I forgot that it was not in it was not in with a kill key yet. Kill key's in the bottom, but you hear this nice tactile feedback, which is exactly what you wanted every time. Good to go. So that being said, even though I already did, let's get this booted up. So this is one of there were 4 fonts on here, so this is one of the 4. Oh, one note before I turn it on is, in the programming, you're going to see that the speaker is set to level 3. It's recommended by most that the Adrian Tan speakers be left at 3. You can go to 4, but they have higher risk of blowing. Adrian himself has come out and said that 3 should suffice. So do that at your own risk, but it's set at 3 right now, and I recommend keeping it there. Anyway, so yeah, let's get it fired up. Nice white flash on flash, and then this is also color changing. So there's a blue, green, white tri-crate LED, like I was saying. So, oops. I'm so used to the new boards where you can just start clicking through. So, I like that one. So, yeah, so that is that. I have to tighten that down a little bit. Go to the next font.
What's in there? Only what you take with you.
So now this is the Dagobah font. Or maybe not. I thought it was. The customer said that it was on here. So. Oh yeah, this is it. So that is a Dagobah font. I'm assuming Bespin 2 by Mad Cow. And then the big one that you wanted.
I need a weapon! You have one!
So this is TFA HD, so the big thing was the big bassy, So you know how to take this out, loosen the 2 set screws, pull the bunny ears. Maybe this will just fall out. There we go. Okay, I noticed this when I took it out, you did crack this. So when you tighten these down, you don't need to tighten them. This might have been the person before you, but if this was you, Brian, you do not need to tighten this that tight at all. Like I said, the set screws will work, 2 of them. It's just thumb tight. So if you're cracking it, then you might be screwing it in too tight. Just keep that in mind. Then this is my stock little mini blade you guys have all seen, just for demonstration purposes. Do not try this at home, yada, yada, yada. And what I will do, actually, I'll show you the hum first, and then we will get to the inside. So much better. Oops. Do that again for you. So much better bassier kick to it, like you wanted. So, as I said, obviously a much better kick to it like you wanted, which is good. Sorry guys, my camera cut out there for a second, right as I was about to take off the bottom here. So what I was saying was that a word of caution is for when removing the lower reveal, you have to do 2 things. First of all, you have to always loosen this clamp. Always make sure to do that. And second of all is when you're undoing this, always just go nice and slow. The reason being is that, let me just get this out. That there, that's out. Is you can't see it, but right in here is a section where the wires run through, and that if you twist this off too fast and for some reason one of the wires gets caught, which they shouldn't, but if they do, it's just bad news for everyone, and then you're going to have a pain in the ass getting it out, or you might break one of the wires. So if that happens for some reason, either contact me or tighten it back and then do it again. But again, if it's caught like that, just be careful, and if you give it a little twist, it should go fine. So for the customer, this was a white chassis that I will be honest, I meant to paint as a surprise, but I had the install done and completely forgot to. It wasn't something that was talked about or required. It was just something I was going to do as a surprise. So what I did was basically some detailing as best I could, which I just add some silver, some gold. This I'm not a huge fan of, but I might mess with it a little bit more. Silver and then some more gold down here, detailing. Just something for the customer to kind of at least get them a little bit of detail like they wanted, so it's not a completely white chassis. And yeah, so now all we have to do is fire up for the crystal. So that was one surprise, and the second surprise was this. If you look here, you can see a white blinky right there. So just small LED, something to add in. And then another thing that I did was, instead of having the crystal mimic your, or just be on, sorry, all the time. I made it so that the crystal is now in tune with the main LED, which I think is much more realistic and I think you'll like more. So when you turn it on, if you look, you can see that flickering. And that flickering is the same flickering that is here in the blade. That's hard to see, but there you go. So that flickering and this flickering mirror. And what I did was, if you watch here, oops, the bottom's not on, so it's hard to you can't activate a thing. Let's see if I can get this to activate. So, as you notice, don't do this at home. So the crystal's going to mimic your blade now. But the only way it's sorry, I'm out of the picture there. The only way it's able to do that, I'm going to put this back together and turn that off. The only way, for the third time, that it's able to do that is, let's get this. And also, just, this doesn't have to be super tight. You can leave it a turn undone. And once you lock that down, this isn't going anywhere. So the way that crystal was able to mimic the blade was that I set it up to be wired together with the blue in the blade. But that being said, if your flash on clash color is green or white or any combination that does not include blue, then the crystal won't light up because it's basing its power off of the blue LED being illuminated, the blue main LED. And so what I did, if you go through your configuration file, you're going to see for your main colors in your override file that every single flash color has the blue set to literally just 1, because this is wired as blue, green, white. So you'll see 1 just lit up you'll see the blue. Oh my God, I can't speak. You'll see the blue in the program file with a 1, and that just says that this LED is going to be on during your flash, but very, very dim. So you're really not going to even notice it, but that allows that when it's flashing during the lock up in the clash for the crystal to also mimic that. Just so you guys know. So that is really it. I know it's actually ended up being a longer video, but Brian, I hope you enjoy your revamped Saber. I hope this is, actually I know this is much better than the install that was in there. So hopefully this works for you for a long time. And if you need anything, just let me know. All right. Thanks, guys.